A permanent Winter Garden city manager has been selected. Confusion at the Orange County Board of Commissioners. Something beautiful in West Orange this weekend. And we revisit Pastor Hodge and his important message of equality. The date is March 31st, 2022. We're going to go through these stories and more. Welcome to West Orange on the Go. My name is Austin Arthur, and this is where we do local news and comment. And when I say local news, I mean hyper-local. West Orange. This is your news. We begin in 10 seconds.
You're listening to West Orange on the Go. Brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.
The Winter Garden City Commission voted unanimously to move forward with making John Williams' tenure as city manager permanent. Previous to now, he was the interim city manager for the previous manager, Mike Bollhofer. District 2 Commissioner Ron Williams asked his colleagues if they wanted to explore other possible candidates before making a decision. However, one by one, each of the commissioners, including the mayor, praised John Williams, and the motion was moved forward. Now, the commission voted unanimously to approve Williams to be the official new city manager for the city of Winter Garden. And now this. Horizon West residents living near Avalon and Fleming's roads can breathe a sigh of relief. Improvements are coming. Orange County Commissioners approved on March 22nd the results of a design study on the troubled roads. That study included a series of improvements that will help traffic flow and improve safety. Now, all the details are laid out in this week's paper. And in other county news, confusion regarding a waiver request stalled discussion and ultimately a decision on a new and big apartment proposal. Developers of that proposal project hope to build 324 apartment units on the northeast corner of Avalon and Seidel Roads. And although earlier documents included a request for a waiver from Orange County Code to decrease the setback along Avalon and Seidel Roads, at the recent meeting, a representative of the Development Corporation said the request was rescinded. However, the confusion that ensued, well, it derailed the conversation. Commissioner Nicole Williams said that up until 5 p.m. the night before the meeting, she thought the applicant was asking for a waiver. The representative of the development stated that because of this issue, this delay, they face $60,000 per month in interest costs. And, well, he blamed that delay, he blamed that confusion on not being able to meet with Nicole Wilson. He said, quote, "Commissioner, with all due respect, we did not meet. So the only thing I had to go on the last 8 months was meeting with your staff. Going by the code that's signed by Orange County for 25 years, I did everything per code. So why wouldn't this be approved?" End quote. So there's some confusion there, some controversy at the Orange County Commission meeting. And ultimately, Mayor Jerry Dimmings said that, he said he didn't know if they could resolve the controversy within the time constraints of the meeting. So it looks like due to the confusion, well, the $60,000 a month in interest payments will continue. And let's see here. The Winter Garden Community Redevelopment Agency, that's the CRA, has officially been extended for the next 10 years. The 10-year extension will allow the Winter Garden CRA to leverage the redevelopment success in downtown Winter Garden to benefit East Winter Garden, a historically black and underdeveloped community within the city. It is estimated that more than $20 million will be generated and that at least 75% of those funds will be spent right in East Winter Garden to revitalize the community there. Jamie Hawley, a lifelong East Winter Garden resident, CRA Advisory Board member, and president of One Winter Garden. That's an organization created to advocate for the city's east side and work within the community and with the city to bring the community up together. Well, while recognizing progress of that magnitude takes time, Mrs. Jamie Hawley said, quote, "The time has come for us to build up our community and continue to thrive here in East Winter Garden for the next 20 years and beyond," end quote. The town of Oakland is making plans for a new housing subdivision at Lake Apopka. The project is in the early stages and will bring 150 new homes to the currently undeveloped acreage. Now, I know what you're thinking, and quite honestly, I tend to think the same. But I heard the town manager speaking on this briefly, Steve Kuntz, and these commissioners, and the town manager, they get in tough positions sometimes, and sometimes there's only so much you can do when there's private property. I mean, I know that a lot of us have concern about overdevelopment and this sort of thing, but I trust the commissioners of Oakland. I trust that town manager. They are passionate about the town of Oakland and about Lake Apopka. These are very good people. So if you have any doubts, I just encourage you to strike up a conversation with them to get a little bit of a more clarity on all that's going on and what has been done to retain the Oakland charm. Okay? But good leaders there in Oakland that I truly trust. Okay. Now, that's my local news and comments. That's the comment portion. You see, my views don't represent the West Orange Times and Observer. They represent me. But I am doing the West Orange Times and Observer's podcast. And, if you want the hard news, if you want all the details, you go to orangeobserver.com or you go to the Facebook page. You look in the big red boxes, they're all across West Orange County, and you get your free newspaper, okay? But here we do local news, hyper local news, and comment. All right, so we're about to get into the final page. That's where that's my final segment. But before we do that, let me tell you, spring is here. Now, that's whether we like it or not. Some of us, like me, I prefer the colder weather. Spring is still nice, of course, but really in Florida, it's all just pretty much summertime. But in the wintertime, we get a little bit more cool weather every once in a while. It'll come for the weekend, and then it'll go back to 90 degrees the next day. But either way, spring is here, and there's some beauty that comes with spring. After a 2-year hiatus due to concerns over COVID-19, the much-anticipated annual Spring Festival is back, and the Garden Club is ready to celebrate the event's 20th anniversary with nearly 180 garden and plant-related booths. I mean, that's a lot of booths. It's going to be held from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. You're going to want to go to this thing. I always tell you, I always give you the great tips on what we're doing in West Orange. And if you take my tips, you're going to be in a better position to enjoy life while living in the greatest community there is, West Orange County. So please, come down this weekend. I hope to see you there. The Bloom and Grow Garden Society's Spring Fever in the Garden Festival. A wonderful event. We're going to go for our sports highlight now. Windermere High School boys lacrosse varsity team beat West Orange High 16-0 at a home conference game on March 25th. The next games for the team will be today, March 31st, against Dr. Phillips High, and April 1st against All Saints Academy. And that was actually written by Andrea Mujica. Now, Andrea Mujica, she is our newest sports editor. All right. So if you open this week's paper, you go down to page 17. You could do it digitally. And a great introduction is there waiting for you. All right. Andrea is the newest team member at the West Orange Times and Observer. So give her a warm welcome if you see her in the community, because she will be around getting all kinds of great stories, particularly in the sports subjects. Okay, let us go to Foundation Academy. Well, I went to this event and it was just wonderful. It was for my daughter. She's 7 years old. She's in the first grade at the Plant Street campus, the original campus. So we went over to the Tilden campus and they had the Science Center there, the Orlando Science Center. Terrific job. All kinds of fun little science projects. And just, it's such a wonderful community. It is truly a blessing to be at Foundation Academy. You know, there's a lot of craziness out there in our world today. It's important to be with people that you trust. Coming in a few weeks, I'll be doing a podcast with the president of that organization. So I want you to check that out. And I generally want you to check out this school for your children, your grandchildren. Foundation Academy, where character matters. And now we're going to get into the final page here by Amy Quessenberry, as so many of my final page selections are. A terrific gem in our community. Well, she writes, Winter Garden Pastor Anthony Hodge spent last week recreating the 54-mile from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, just as marchers did 57 years ago. And he ended up on the steps of Alabama's Capitol building on March 25th, just as MLK did on that very day 6 decades ago. In addition to his wife and daughter, Hodge was accompanied by a small group of family and friends to walk the final 2 blocks. And just like King, well, Hodge recited the speech, "Our God is marching on." He did it right on the same steps. He has returned home now, but he said he will continue to walk in Winter Garden to, quote, fight black-on-black crime and other injustices. Next year, he hopes to take more people to experience the journey with him. Amy Quessenberry went up to Montgomery to meet him at his final stop at the Capitol there. And I just found out that so did my good friend, Jim Crescitelli. And there's a photo in this week's paper that Amy took and has his family and friends and his wife and his daughter and Jim Crescitelli from the Winter Garden Heritage Foundation, who does an incredible job at protecting our history and heritage here, not just in Winter Garden, but even beyond. Truly West Orange history. So an incredible story that it involves a group of incredible people led by a truly incredible man. And if you haven't heard his story, you should look it up. So my hat is off once again to Pastor Hodge and all he has done for our community and all that he represents. Freedom, equality, and most importantly, a great steward of God's Word. This has been Austin Arthur with the West Orange Times and Observer. And until next week, have a happy and blessed weekend.
West Orange on the Go is brought to you by the West Orange Times and Observer. Hosted by Austin Arthur. West Orange on the Go.